The house stood alone at the end of a long, winding road, surrounded by dense woods that seemed to swallow any glimmer of daylight. It had been abandoned for decades, left to rot in solitude. That's what drew me to it. I suppose the allure of the unknown, the temptation of discovering what secrets it held within its decaying walls. My name is Daniel, and I'm a writer with an insatiable appetite for the macabre. I had heard rumors about the old house stories passed down through generations that whispered of unspeakable horrors lurking within. It had become an obsession, a dark muse that haunted my dreams. I needed to see it for myself, to explore its depths, and perhaps find inspiration for my next novel. One gloomy autumn afternoon, I parked my car at the edge of the overgrown path that led to the house. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth, and the sound of rustling leaves seemed to echo with an eerie anticipation. As I approached the house, I couldn't help but shiver despite the thick coat I wore. The house was a decrepit, two-story structure, its once white paint now peeling in grotesque patterns. The windows were shattered and the roof sagged under the weight of years of neglect. It was a sinister sight, like something straight out of a nightmare. I stepped inside cautiously, my flashlight illuminating the darkness before me. The air was musty, thick with the scent of decay. Cobwebs clung to the corners, and dust danced in the faint beam of my flashlight. The silence was oppressive, as if the house itself held its breath. I made my way through the ground floor, every creak of the wooden floorboards sending shivers down my spine. The walls were adorned with faded wallpaper, peeling and stained with age. In one room, I discovered a broken piano, its keys discolored and warped. Yet the melody of long-forgotten music still lingered in the air. As I ascended the creaking staircase to the second floor, a sense of unease settled over me like a shroud. It was as if the house was alive, watching my every move, waiting to reveal its secrets. I entered one of the bedrooms, and my heart froze. The room was untouched by time, a stark contrast to the rest of the house. The bed was neatly made, and the curtains swayed gently in the breeze from a broken window. On the nightstand, a faded photograph of a family smiled back at me, their eyes betraying an unsettling emptiness. I couldn't explain it, but something about that room terrified me. The air felt colder, and the walls seemed to close in. I hurriedly left the bedroom, determined to explore the rest of the house. In the hallway, I heard a faint whisper, a voice so soft it was almost indiscernible. It called my name, a spectral plea that sent a chill down my spine. I turned my flashlight toward the darkness and saw nothing but the empty corridor. I continued my exploration, entering a room at the end of the hall. It was a child's bedroom adorned with faded toys and a small, tattered teddy bear lying on the floor. The room felt suffocating, and I could sense a presence, something lurking just out of sight. As I backed out of the room, the door slammed shut with a deafening crash. Panic surged through me as I tried to open it, but it refused to budge. I was trapped. The temperature dropped rapidly, and my breath fogged the air. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on sinister shapes from the darkness. I heard whispers, laughter, and the soft pattering of footsteps. It was as if the house itself had come alive, its malevolence closing in around me. I reached for my phone to call for help, but it had no signal. In desperation, I screamed for anyone who might hear me, but my voice seemed to be swallowed by the house's malevolent silence. Hours passed, or perhaps it was days' time, lost all meaning as I wandered the endless, nightmarish corridors of the house. I saw apparitions, heard eerie laughter, and felt a presence watching my every move. It was as though the house had claimed me, ensnaring me in its nightmarish embrace. Eventually, I stumbled upon the room where I had first heard my name whispered. Inside, I found a diary, its pages filled with the chilling accounts of a family that had once lived in the house. They had been driven to madness by the malevolent forces that dwelled within, and one by one, they had vanished without a trace. I realized that I was not alone in the house. The spirits of the family and countless others who had met their demise within these walls were trapped here, their tormented souls fueling the house's dark power. Desperation and fear gripped me, and I knew I had to find a way out. I retraced my steps, my heart pounding with each echoing footstep. Finally, I stumbled upon a door that led to the attic. With a burst of adrenaline, I smashed the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. The house let out an agonizing, otherworldly wail, and the malevolent presence that had tormented me began to dissipate. I stumbled out of the attic and found myself back in the dilapidated bedroom. The door that had been locked was now wide open, and the house had fallen into an eerie silence. I fled the house, my heart still pounding, and never looked back. The darkness that dwelled within those walls had nearly consumed me, and I had narrowly escaped its clutches. To this day, I can't forget the horrors I encountered in that house, a place where the boundary between the living and the dead had blurred, and where the malevolence of the past still lingers. The old house remains a haunting reminder of the terrors that await those who dare to seek the unknown.